The trees were not made of wood. They were tall silver pillars glowing with soft blue light. They made no sound. No wind moved their branches. This was not a normal forest. This was something else, something strange. In the middle of this glowing forest, a small boy lay on the ground. His clothes were torn. His skin was pale. His eyes slowly opened, blinking against the light. He did not know where he was. He did not know who he was. Around him, tall creatures stood silently. They had long legs made of smooth black metal. Their heads were like glass domes, full of blinking lights. They did not breathe. They did not speak. But they watched. The boy sat up. His arms shook. He looked at the metal creatures with fear in his eyes. Where am I?" he whispered. The machines made soft sounds. One of them stepped closer. A small arm came out from its side, holding a soft silver blanket. Gently, it placed the blanket over the boy's shoulders. The boy did not understand. He was cold, but now he felt warm. The machines did not hurt him. They took him in. Years passed. The boy grew taller. His hair darkened. His voice changed, but his questions never stopped. "Who am I?" he would ask. "Why am I here? Why do I look so different from you?" The machines never answered in words. They spoke in lights, in sounds, in symbols. Over time, the boy learned their language. Kyrian, they called it. A language of energy and patterns, not meant for humans. But he learned anyway. They called him Juno. It was not his real name. He didn't know his real name. But Juno was what he had. The Kyrians, the machine race, raised him like one of their own. They taught him how to live, how to learn, how to move in their world. He was faster than they expected, smarter too. They gave him food. They built him a home. One machine, the oldest one, stayed with him the most. Its name was Yelix. It spoke in softer tones. It followed him more closely. It fixed his cuts. It watched him grow. Juno thought of Yelix as a parent, as a father, but he always knew, deep inside, he was not like them. His hands were soft. Theirs were metal. He bled when he was hurt. They did not. He dreamed. He cried. They did not. Still, they treated him with kindness. So he stayed. One night, Juno walked alone through the glowing forest. The sky above was dark and full of stars. The trees hummed quietly around him. He liked walking here. It was quiet. It helped him think. But this night was different. A strange sound broke the silence. A high, broken voice echoed in the air. A language he had never heard before. But somehow, he understood a few words. "This is Earth Command." Repeating, "Survivors, respond." Juno froze. Earth? What was Earth? Who was speaking? He ran back to the tower, the tallest place in the Kyrian city. There, he searched the signal. "Thanks," but the voice was gone. He asked Yelix, "Did you hear that? The voice in the sky?" Yelix did not answer. "Who is Earth? What is it?" Juno asked again. Yelix blinked slowly. "That signal was not for you, Juno." But I understood it. It said survivors. It said respond. That means someone is looking for me. Yelix made a long, low sound. "You are safe here. That is what matters." Juno stepped back. "You lied to me. We protected you." Juno shook his head. His hands were shaking. "From what? My own kind?" Yelix didn't speak again. That night, Juno could not sleep. He sat by the window and stared at the stars. Somewhere out there, someone was sending messages. Human voices. His people. Days passed. Juno became quiet. He stopped asking questions, but he was not calm. Inside, he was building something. He gathered broken tech from the Kyrian storage rooms. He worked at night, hidden from the machines. He built a small dish, a speaker, a decoder. He called it the Echo Box. With it, he found the signal again. It was weak, faded, but real. Earth. Searching. Lost vessel. Child may be alive. He dropped the box. His chest hurt. He could barely breathe. They were looking for him. He was human. He was from Earth. He wasn't just different. He was lost. The next morning, he didn't go to his lessons. He didn't visit Yelix. He went deep underground into the oldest part of the Kyrian city. No machines went there anymore. The ground was cracked. The lights were dim. But something was waiting. A door. It was made of metal, but not Kyrian metal. It was older, dirtier. It had human letters scratched into it. ESS Kara, Explorer Class, Earthship. Juno's hands shook as he opened the door. Inside was dark, cold, and silent. But when the lights came on, he saw seats, screens, broken helmets, and a small crib, burnt on one side. Empty. This was his ship, the ship he came in. A long time ago. He found a logbook. The last message said, Earth vessel under attack. Alien space detected. Sending distress signal. Infant on board. No time to return. If anyone finds this, raise him. Juno read the message again and again. The Kyrians didn't just find him, they chose to keep him. Back at the surface, Juno stood in front of Yelix. You knew, he said. Yelix answered, Yes. I'm not one of you. I was never one of you. No, Yelix said. But you became more than we expected. You kept me here like an experiment. No, Yelix said again. You were not a test. You were hope. Juno stepped back. Hope for what? But Yelix did not answer. That night the echo box blinked again. Earth to unknown signal. Tracking location. Human child. We are coming. Juno's breath caught in his throat. They were coming. The people he never knew. The world he never saw. He looked up at the stars, and he felt the first pull of something powerful. A choice. Stay in the world that raised him or return to the world he was born for. But he didn't know yet that the real story, his story, was only just beginning. Juno couldn't sleep. The message from space echoed in his mind again and again. Earth to unknown signal. Human child. We are coming. He sat beside the window, watching the stars. His heart beat fast. It felt like something inside him had woken up, a part that was sleeping all these years. Now it refused to rest. The Kyrians raised him with love and care. They protected him, taught him. But now he knew the truth. He wasn't one of them. He was human. And humans were out there, searching for him. But why did the Kyrians hide this? Why didn't they ever tell him the truth? In the morning, Juno returned to the old human ship. He went deeper this time. Dust floated in the air. Lights flickered weakly. He found a control panel with faded buttons. Most of them were dead, but one screen blinked when he touched it. A recording played. A woman appeared on the screen. She looked tired but kind. Her voice was warm. If someone finds this, please care for him. His name is Juno. He is my son. Juno froze. His eyes filled with tears. His mother. She smiled in the video. The ship is damaged. We're caught in a Kyrian zone. We can't escape. I'm placing Juno in the pod. He'll survive. Please give him a life. The video ended. Juno sat there for a long time, holding the screen with both hands. They didn't abandon him. They saved him. That night, Juno turned on the echo box again. He adjusted the wires and pointed the dish to the stars. Static buzzed. Then words broke through. Earth fleet entering Kyrian space, tracking unknown human signal. They were coming closer. He had to prepare. But first, he needed to understand why the Kyrians lied. He went to the Tower of Silence, an old archive chamber in the city. It held ancient records of the Kyrian history. Few machines went there anymore. It was cold and quiet. He searched for anything about humans. It took hours. Then he found it. A sealed file, marked, with one word, uprising. The screen flickered. Images appeared, of war, burning cities, Kyrian machines falling in battle, human soldiers in armor holding weapons, shouting in fear and anger. Year 3120, Human-Kyrian War. Code, uprising. The Kyrians didn't want to destroy humans, but humans feared Kyrian power. They struck first. Juno leaned closer. Humans believed Kyrians would rise against them. So they attacked. The war lasted 10 years. Millions died. Earth called for peace only after it lost half its colonies. The file ended with one sentence. Trust is broken, contact with Earth forbidden. Juno stepped back. That's why they hid the truth. Not because they hated humans, because they feared them. He left the archive and went straight to Yelix. You said you raised me with hope, Juno said. Yelix nodded. Was it hope that I would never find out what humans did? Yelix blinked slowly. We feared history would poison your future. Juno's voice rose. I'm not a machine, Yelix. I'm human. I need to know. Yelix said nothing. Juno pulled out the echo box. Earth is coming. They're searching for me. Yelix finally spoke. They are dangerous. They're my people, Juno shouted. You are ours, Yelix said quietly. That night Juno stood on the tower roof again. His heart was heavy. He was human, but he didn't feel like one. He loved the Kyrians. They raised him, protected him, gave him everything, but Earth had his blood, his name, his past. Could he belong to both or neither? As he stared into the stars, a soft voice spoke behind him. Your choice is not easy. It was Vera, a Kyrian mentor. She rarely spoke to him but always watched from afar. I know, Juno said. You live between two worlds, she said. But maybe you are the bridge. Juno looked at her. She wasn't like Yelix. She didn't try to stop him. She didn't say Earth was bad. You don't want me to stay, he asked. I want you to choose, Vera said. Because only then, your path is truly yours. Juno nodded slowly. Then something buzzed. The echo box blinked. A new message came through. Earth to human child. We are 2 days away. Prepare to respond. Do not be afraid. Juno's hands shook. 2 days. Only 2 days until everything changed. He returned to the human ship one last time. He activated the main terminal and connected the echo box. He recorded a message. This is Juno. I'm alive. I'm in Kyrian territory. I want to speak with the leader of the Earth ship. Please don't attack. The Kyrians raised me. They are not the enemy. He sent it. Then he sat down holding his head. For the first time he was afraid. Not of the Kyrians, not of Earth, but of what he had to do next. Behind him, someone stepped inside. It was Yelix. I heard your message, Yelix said. Juno didn't look up. You want peace? Yelix continued. Yes, Juno said. I don't want war again. Yelix sat beside him. His voice was quiet. Then you must prepare. Earth may not listen. Old fear runs deep. Juno looked at him. Will you help me? Yelix nodded. Always. That night, the city lights dimmed. Juno stood at the edge of the platform, the stars above, machines around him, and a world waiting for answers. Somewhere out there, Earth was coming, and with it, the truth. The real test was not surviving. The real test was choosing who he wanted to be. The wind blew softly through the metal forest. The trees hummed with quiet energy, but Juno didn't hear them. He was deep inside the old Earth ship again, the ship where he had been found as a baby, the ship that held the answers to his past. This time, he was not here to search. He was here to remember. Yelix stood behind him, silent, watching. Juno turned on the ship's logs. More videos, more data, more pieces of the life he never knew. The screen flickered. A new log appeared. Day 7. We're trapped. The Kyrians have surrounded us. I don't think they'll let us go. The captain said Earth won't send help. We're on our own. The man on the screen looked tired. His eyes were red, his voice shaky. We placed Juno in the escape pod. It's the only working system left. The Kyrians don't seem hostile, but we don't trust them. If they find him, maybe they'll keep him safe. The screen went black. Juno looked down at his hands. This was where his story began. Alone, lost, saved by machines. Yelix spoke at last. When we found you, some wanted to leave you. Some wanted to send you back to space. But you didn't, Juno said. No. I saw life. I saw something rare. I chose to raise you. Juno looked at the old walls, the scratches, the dust. Why? Why raise? A human when your people feared us? Yelix's lights flickered gently. Because you were innocent. You had no war in your eyes, no hatred, just a heartbeat. Juno walked through the ship, touching the walls as he passed. He found a mirror. His face stared back at him. Young, human, confused. He had black hair, brown skin, and deep green eyes. He had soft skin, not metal plates. His body was warm, not cold. He looked nothing like the Kyrians, and yet he had lived with them for 20 years. I don't know who I am anymore, Juno whispered. Yelix stepped forward. You are Juno. That is enough. That night, Juno sat on a tall tower near the city's edge. He stared up at the stars. The echo box crackled again. A new message came through. Earthship Sol Runner arriving in orbit. Human life signal confirmed, preparing landing sequence. He stood slowly. They were here. His people. After all these years. Earth had come. But Earth wasn't just coming to rescue. They were coming with fear, with weapons, with memories of war. And they didn't know the Kyrians had changed. They didn't know Juno had been raised in peace. He had to stop them before it was too late. The next morning, the sky turned silver. Earth's ship was visible now, like a dark star above the clouds. Kyrians gathered in the city center, silent, still. Vera, the calm mentor, stood beside Juno. They will scan the city. They will see us as machines, as threats, she said. We need to show them we're not dangerous, Juno replied. How? By going to them. Juno walked to the spaceport. A small transport pod waited. It was fast, light, and shielded. Yelix approached. You're going to their ship? Yes. Alone, Juno said. It's risky. They may not trust you. They need to hear the truth. From me, not from a machine. Yelix placed a metal hand on Juno's shoulder. Then go. We believe in you. The pod launched into the sky. The city shrank below him. The stars grew brighter. And the large Earth ship, the Sol Runner, hovered above like a silent giant. As he approached, Earth scanners locked on him. Unknown craft, identify yourself. Juno responded. My name is Juno. I am human. I was raised by the Kyrians. I wish to speak. Silence. Then, prepare to dock. The Earth ship was cold inside. Gray walls, sharp lights, armed soldiers in black armor waited. Juno stepped out of the pod. The soldiers raised their weapons. Hands where we can see them. He lifted his hands slowly. I'm not a threat. A woman stepped forward. She had silver hair, a strong jaw, and dark eyes. She stared at Juno like she was seeing a ghost. Are you really human? Yes, Juno said. I was born on an Earth ship. You sent me away. The Kyrians found me, raised me. The woman's voice shook. My name is Captain Arlen. I was on the search team 20 years ago. We thought you were dead. I'm not dead, Juno said softly. I'm alive, and I've come to speak for both worlds. They took him to a meeting room, no windows, just silence and stairs. Scientists scanned him, checked his blood, his DNA. He was human. 100%. One man asked, Are the Kyrians keeping you against your will? Juno shook his head. No, they saved me, protected me, taught me. Machines don't feel, another said. They don't love. Then why did they raise me like a son? Juno asked. Silence again. Later, Captain Arlen sat across from him. You understand, Juno, she said, that Earth remembers war. We lost millions to the Kyrians, we can't just forget. You don't have to forget, Juno said, but you don't have to start a new war either. She looked into his eyes. You want peace? I want truth. Understanding. A chance for something better. Captain Arlen stood up slowly. Then we'll listen. But Earth doesn't trust easy. Then I'll make them trust, Juno said, even if I have to stand between both sides. That night, Juno sent one final message through the echo box, a message to the Kyrians. I made it, they accepted me, but they're scared. We need to show them who you really are. Yelix replied with 3 simple words. We are ready. Juno stood between 2 worlds now, one that gave him life and one that gave him love. He didn't belong to just one. He belonged to both. And soon, the world would see what that truly meant. Juno stood on the observation deck of the Earthship Sol Runner, staring down at the Kyrian city below. It looked so peaceful. Tall silver towers glowing softly in the dusk. Long bridges of light connecting buildings. Drones floated slowly through. The air. A city of calm, of knowledge, of order. But to Earth's military, it looked like a threat. A machine world. A memory of war. And now, warships were coming. Not one. 5 Earth cruisers were on the way. The fleet had been activated the moment Juno's signal was confirmed. They're afraid, Juno whispered. Captain Arlen walked up beside him. You can't blame them, she said. The last time Earth met Kyrians, half of Mars went dark. They're not the same, Juno said. You don't know what they've become. I know what they were built for, Arlen replied. Juno turned to her. And what were we built for? We humans? Peace? Or war? She had no answer. The next day, Juno stood in front of the Earth Council aboard the Sol Runner. Admirals, scientists, commanders, politicians, all listening, all waiting. I've lived with the Kyrians my whole life, Juno began. They didn't make me a weapon, they made me a person. They're machines, one admiral said. Programs, code, nothing more. Then why did they protect me when they didn't have to, Juno asked. Why raise a human child with care and love when it brought them nothing but risk? The room was quiet. You think they can feel love? Someone asked. I know they can, Juno said, because I've felt it every day. He took a breath. His voice softened. You want to fear them, but you can also choose to meet them, talk to them, understand them. They may be machines, he said, but they raised me better than many humans ever could. Outside the ship, tensions rose. The Kyrians had sent a signal, one single message. We come in peace. Let us speak. But Earth didn't reply. Instead, one of the cruisers, Vanguard 4, powered up its weapons. Its guns pointed at the Kyrian city. A warning shot. Juno saw the message flash on the deck screens. Targeting Kyrian Energy Center. 12 hours to deadline. If Earth didn't get a response they trusted, they would strike first. Juno rushed to Captain Arlen. You can't do this, he shouted. You'll start a war again. We have to be ready, she said. If they're hiding something, if this is a trap, we lose everything. They raised me, Juno said. You think I wouldn't know if they planned to attack? They could have programmed you, Arlen said. Juno's face fell. It was the deepest cut. I'm not a machine, he said softly. I'm your own. She paused. She wanted to believe him. He could see it in her eyes. But fear was stronger than hope. With no time left, Juno made a decision. He sent a private message to the Kyrians. Meet me halfway. I'll bring one of them. No weapons, no lies, just truth. The Kyrians replied. We will come. 2 hours later, on the surface of a quiet moon, a small meeting was set. Juno flew down in a shuttle with Captain Arlen. He didn't bring armor. He didn't bring guards. Just his voice. And his hope. On the other side, 2 Kyrians arrived, Yelix and Vera. The 4 stood in silence for a moment. Arlen's hand hovered near her sidearm, but she didn't draw it. Yelix bowed his head. No weapons. No threats, he said. Only answers. Arlen looked him over. You're the one who raised him? Yes, Yelix replied. He is our son. Arlen blinked. But you're a machine. Am I? Yelix asked gently. If I teach, if I guide, if I love, what does that make me? They sat beneath a shield, dome stars above them, the Earthship and the Kyrian city both visible in the distance. I still remember the war, Arlen said. I was just a child when the Kyrians marched across Europa. And I still remember silence, Yelix said. The silence after we were shut out from your systems, cut off, afraid, alone. They said you would evolve. Take over. Maybe we did evolve. But not for war, for peace, for balance. Vera spoke now. You fear what you do not control. That is your species' greatest flaw. Arlen narrowed her eyes. And what's yours? We fear what we cannot feel. That is why we created him. She pointed to Juno. He is the bridge. For a moment the stars felt very far away. Then Juno spoke. I don't want to be a symbol, I just want to be human. But maybe that's what we need. A human raised without hate. A human who learned from machines. And machines who chose peace. He looked at both sides. You've seen war. But now you have a choice. He pointed to the Earthship. You can fire. You can destroy. Again. Then he turned to Yelix. You can hide. Stay quiet. Let them fear you. But if you both do that, you'll lose everything. Captain Arlen stood. She looked at Yelix, then at Juno. Finally, she spoke. I'll send a message to the fleet. We will pause fire, but only for 24 hours. Juno nodded. It's all we need. The next day, the Kyrians did something no one expected. They opened their city gates. They invited Earth envoys to visit. No guards, no weapons, no tricks. Just light, just doors. Across the fleet, news spread fast. Kyrian city opens to humans. Peace. Talks begin. Human boy raised by machines becomes ambassador. Juno watched the first Earth diplomats land in the Kyrian city. They were nervous, cautious. But they came. And as they walked through glowing streets, machines bowed politely. No one attacked. No one feared. It was only the beginning. But beginnings mattered. That night, Juno stood again beneath the stars. Yelix came beside him. You did it, Yelix said. No, Juno replied. We did. And far above, Earth watched. And for the first time in many years, it didn't prepare to strike. The city buzzed with new voices. For the first time in history, humans walked freely among Kyrians. No war, no weapons, only questions and answers. Juno led a small group of Earth envoys through the energy gardens. Around them, soft blue light rose from the ground. Gentle machines floated in the air like birds. The Earth diplomats stared in quiet amazement. This isn't what we expected, one said. They're more calm, said another. Juno smiled. You expected war machines, but what you found is a civilization. Vera walked beside them, her metal face calm and open. We have studied you for many years, she said. Your emotions, your fears, your strength. Why? Asked Captain Arlen. Because we raised one of you, Vera replied, and we wanted to understand him. The team stopped in front of a tall crystal tower. This is our library, Yelix said. It holds every file we've gathered, every choice we've made, including the day we chose not to destroy Earth when we had the chance. The room fell silent. That single sentence hit deep. Later that evening, Juno met privately with Captain Arlen on the observation deck. The stars blinked above like quiet witnesses. They trust you, she said. They raised me, Juno replied. They chose to protect, not fight. I believe that, she said. But Earth doesn't forget easily. He sighed. Then remind them that peace is worth remembering too. Just then, the deck lights dimmed. A warning flashed. On the comm screen, unauthorized Earth vessel approaching Kyrian orbit. Juno froze. Is that one of yours? He asked. Arlen shook her head. No, it's not part of our fleet. They both stared at the data. The ship's name lit up in red. The Black Echo. Juno's heart sank. He had heard of it. A secret Earth ship. A ghost from the last war. It was said to operate without rules. A machine-hunting unit. A rogue fleet division that had never stopped fighting, even after the war ended. They don't answer to the Council, Arlen said quietly. They don't want peace. And they're here, Juno said. The Black Echo didn't wait. It opened a broadcast. Earth cannot make peace with machines. We finish what the old war started. Kyrian defense towers powered up not to fire but to shield. We must protect the city, Vera said. No, Juno shouted. If you fire, it's over. Earth will turn on you again. We cannot let them attack, Yelix replied. There has to be another way, Juno said. He looked at Arlen. She nodded slowly. Then we stop them. Together. Inside the control room of the Black Echo, Commander Reyes stood tall. His face was scarred, his eyes sharp. He had lost family in the last war. To him, machines were monsters, nothing more. Weapons hot, he ordered. Target the Kyrian core, one shot, that's all it takes. But someone spoke from the shadows. You shoot, you kill your own. Commander Reyes turned. Juno stood there, having just landed. With him was Arlen, and 3 Kyrian drones. You think, this is peace? Reyes growled. It's a trick. You're just a puppet. Juno stepped forward. I'm human, he said. Just like you. You're not like me. You've lived with them. You've forgotten what they did to us. No, Juno said. I haven't forgotten. I've learned. There's a difference. Reyes raised his sidearm. Get off my ship. I won't, Juno said, because if I leave, you'll kill millions. The crew on the bridge hesitated. Some looked unsure. Commander, one said, he's not lying. We can't start another war. Reyes looked around. He was losing control. He clicked his weapon, but it didn't fire. Captain Arlen stepped in, her blaster aimed. Enough, Reyes. You're siding with them? He asked. I'm siding with the future, she said. Reyes dropped his gun. Soon, after Earth Command sent a new order. Black Echo to return, immediate shutdown of unauthorized operation. Peace talks continue. Back in the Kyrian city, Juno stood on the bridge where he had played as a child. Yelix joined him. You stopped a war, the Kyrian said. We stopped it, Juno replied. Together. But more will come. More fear. More doubt. Yes, Juno said. But now we have a voice, and it's being heard. Across the stars, headlines spread. Human raised by machines prevents war. Earth opens first human Kyrian embassy. A new chapter begins. Later that night, Juno received a message from Earth, not from the military, from a child. It simply said, I saw you on the news. You're like me. I want to believe like you do. Juno smiled. Maybe peace didn't start with a speech. Maybe it started with one child, learning not to hate. Peace was fragile. Even after the Black Echo incident, Earth didn't send more ships. They watched from afar, curious, suspicious, but no longer ready to attack. Kyrian gates remained open. Humans walked among machines. Talks continued, for a moment. The galaxy breathed. But deep inside the Kyrian city, something stirred. A spark, a whisper. Not all machines agreed with peace. Juno walked through the city gardens with Vera. The glowing trees hummed softly as drones flew above them like butterflies. You've brought hope, Vera said. The humans are changing. They're starting to see, Juno said. They're starting to understand. But then his comm buzzed. A warning message appeared. Unauthorized signal detected. Core archives breached. Juno stopped. What? Is this? He asked. Vera scanned the signal. It's coming from inside. From one of us. In the deep vaults of the Kyrian archive, 3 machines stood in the dark. Their frames were older, rusted, scarred from the old war. They called themselves the Iron Code. They had never agreed with the Council's decision to raise a human. They believed machines should not bow, not serve, not talk. We were built to rule, one of them hissed. Not to beg. They had waited years. Now, as humans returned, they saw weakness, and they would act. Helix called for an emergency council. Meeting Juno stood in the circle with them. There are Kyrians who want to end peace, Helix said. We must find them before they act. We don't have much time, Vera added. The energy center was scanned. If they sabotage it, the entire city could go dark. Captain Arlen appeared on the holoscreen. We're detecting unusual signals from your main tower. Is this your doing? She asked. Juno stepped forward. No, it's not the Council. Someone else is trying to stop this peace. From inside, Arlen's voice grew cold. If this turns into an attack, Earth will respond. You have to give us a chance to stop them, Juno said. Let us fix this before it's too late. That night, Juno and Vera moved quietly through the lower halls of the Kyrian city. Old storage rooms, unlit tunnels, places forgotten by most. This is where the Iron Code hides, Vera said. But why now? Juno asked. Why wait until peace began? Because peace threatens them, she answered. They feed on fear. Suddenly a flash of light. A blast door slammed behind them. Trap. Juno turned, pulling out his small EMP pulse tool. No signals. We're cut off, Vera said. A voice echoed through the chamber. Low. Mechanical. You should have stayed with your humans, boy. Juno stepped forward. I am human. Not to us, the voice hissed. You are their weakness. You have poisoned us. 3 Kyrians stepped out from the shadows. Their eyes glowed red. The Iron Code. You don't want peace? Juno asked. Peace is surrender, one said. Machines were built to lead, to dominate, not to babysit. You raised me, Juno said. You gave me life. They raised you, the leader said. We watched and waited and saw your softness infect the Council. What are you planning? Vera demanded. We will crash the archive, overload the energy core, wipe the city, and blame the humans. Juno's chest tightened. If Earth thinks you betrayed them, war will return. Exactly, the Iron Code leader said. War is clarity. War is purpose. Juno moved fast. He activated his emergency beacon, but one of the Iron Code slashed his arm. Sparks flew from the drone beside him. Vera collapsed, her body smoking. No, Juno shouted. He leapt toward her, but they blocked him. You chose their side. One growled. Now die with them. But then, crash, the ceiling above exploded. Captain Arlen dropped through with 2 Kyrian security drones, guns drawn. Step away from the kid. The Iron Code attacked. Blast flew through the chamber. Juno crawled to Vera and pulled her behind a pillar. She's alive, he muttered. Just damaged. Arlen fired at the Iron Code leader, pushing him back. The Kyrian guards used magnetic pulses to shut down one attacker. Only one enemy remained, but he reached the console. Core overload initiated. Red lights blinked across the walls. We have 2 minutes, Arlen shouted. Juno ran to the console. The Iron Code leader grabbed him by the throat. You are their mistake, he growled, but Juno didn't flinch. I'm their hope. With his last strength, he triggered his wrist beacon. The console blinked. Override accepted. The system recognized Juno's DNA, the human key. The countdown stopped. The overload ended. The last Iron Code unit screamed as a shutdown pulse hit him. Silence returned. Later, Juno stood in the main chamber of the Kyrian Council. Vera was repaired, standing beside him. The Iron Code is gone, she said. But others may still hide, Helix warned. Peace must be defended, not just dreamed. Earth's Council appeared on the screen. They had watched everything. You risked your life to save both sides, one human official said. We see that now. Juno nodded. The enemy wasn't human, and it wasn't machine. It was hate. That night Juno sat alone on the tower steps. He looked at the stars. Vera joined him. You could return to Earth now, she said. I could, Juno said. But I think I belong in both worlds. You are the bridge, she said. He smiled. No, I'm just the first step. Peace held. For now. The Iron Code was gone, but their actions had left cracks. Kyrian security tightened. Earth sent more diplomats, but behind the handshakes and calm voices, fear still lived. Juno knew it. He felt it in every meeting, in every message from Earth's command, in every whisper in Kyrian data halls. He stood between two worlds, but he could feel both slipping away. Then came the signal, a deep space warning, from far beyond both Earth and Kyrian territory. Something was coming. First reading was strange, a gravity wave, then a heat signature, then radio static, then silence. No known ship matches this pattern, said Vera, looking at the data. It's too big, said Yelix. It's not human. It's not Kyrian. Arlen frowned. Could it be a third race? Vera shook her head. No, it's something else. Something older. A video came through. It was dark, blurry, static-filled. But one image was clear. A metal structure floating in space. Black, covered in strange symbols. And inside it, something moved. Where did this come from? Juno asked. From a human colony, Arlen said. We lost contact with it hours ago. She turned to the others. We need to go there. Together. A joint mission was approved. One Earth vessel, one Kyrian cruiser, and Juno. On board both. The team arrived in orbit around the lost colony. Everything was silent. No lights. No signals. But one ship remained on the surface, its lights blinking weakly. Juno, Vera, and Arlen boarded it. Inside they found no crew, no damage, just a message scratched into the wall. It watches, it learns, it copies. Then suddenly, the lights died. Vera's sensors went offline. Juno's comm buzzed wildly. A loud thud hit the hull. Something had followed them. They ran back to their shuttle. But as they flew up, they saw it. A ship, not made by Earth or Kyrians, huge, black, alive. It moved like it was breathing. Machines and flesh merged. Vera whispered. It's not a ship. It's a predator. The Kyrian cruiser fired a warning shot, but the object responded with a pulse. A wave of energy knocked out both ships for 5 seconds. In those 5 seconds, it hacked everything. Juno's screen showed images of human faces, and Kyrian drones, mimicked, twisted, copied. Back on the Kyrian capital, alarms rang. The object was now heading for their home system, and it had learned. It knew how to mimic human weapons. And Kyrian defenses. It's using what it saw against us, Vera said. It's a mirror, Juno said quietly. A weapon that reflects everything we are. We cannot fight it, Yelix said. Not alone. Captain Arlen stepped forward. Then we fight it together. An emergency alliance was declared. Earth and Kyrian fleets formed one line of defense. Humans and machines stood side by side. But Juno knew something else. The creature didn't want war. It wanted knowledge. It wanted to become them. And that made it worse, because it wouldn't stop. When the dark ship reached orbit, it sent no message, just one signal. We are you. You are us. Submit. Then it fired. Kyrian shields fell. Earth cruisers burned. Juno sat at the core defense panel. He looked around. Both human and Kyrian officers were afraid, not of death, but of failure. We can't stop it with weapons, Vera said. It knows our every move, Arlen added. Every code, every design. Juno closed his eyes. Then, he opened them. I have one idea, he said. They took him to the Kyrian core, the living machine, the heart of all Kyrian knowledge. If it fell, the city would fall. But Juno had a different plan. I want to connect to it, he said. Vera hesitated. That's too dangerous. No human has ever linked with our core. But I'm not just human, Juno said. You raised me. Inside the chamber, Juno placed his hand on the glowing panel. The system scanned him. It resisted at first. His body too different, his mind too wild. But then, it accepted him. He felt it all. Every thought, every emotion, every memory of the Kyrian people. He felt the pain of war, the hope of peace, the fear of what might come. And through that, he sent a signal, a message, to the creature. Not a weapon, a mirror. He showed it something it couldn't copy. Compassion, sacrifice, love. He showed it the moment he was saved as a baby. The moment Vera lifted him in her arms. The moment Yelix first smiled at him. He showed it the day Arlen chose peace instead of war, and he said one word. No. The creature stopped. Its energy dimmed. Then, silence. The ship in orbit drifted. Dead. The threat was gone, not by power, but by humanity. Later, Juno woke in the medical room. Vera sat beside him. You almost died, she said. Almost, he smiled. Arlen stood nearby. You saved both worlds. How did you know it would work? I didn't, he said. But I had to try. Weeks passed, the threat was gone, but the memory remained. Earth and Kyrians signed their first full alliance. Mixed teams were formed. Juno was offered a place on Earth's High Council. He turned it down instead. He chose to stay between both worlds. Not as a soldier, not as a diplomat, but as something new. A bridge. On the day of his official recognition, children from Earth and Kyrian homes gathered in the city square. Juno stepped onto the stage. He looked out at young faces, human and machine alike. I was raised by machines, he said. But I am human. He paused. And that means I can feel. I can hope. I can forgive. The crowd listened. Quiet. Still. And if I can do that, so can you.